to talk about your favorite subject next, and that would be attitude. You know, I have a definition of attitude that I'm sure came from a lot of influence from you, but I define it as that state of mind through which you filter all information and make all decisions. How has speaking about attitude all of these years affected people's lives? How important is it?
I think, of course, that your attitude is the beginning point of all progress. But attitude towards you, attitude towards others, attitude towards your job, attitude towards your family. I mean, attitude encompasses all things, and it can be changed in an instant. Years ago, we were playing in a golf tournament out in Phoenix, Arizona. Weather was beautiful. The next day, as we headed home, it was raining and hailing and so forth. We got soaking wet trying to unload our clubs, and there was a delay. Computers were down. We got to the gate agent there where we were checking in, you know, and you're talking about a fellow who had had all the red licked off of his candy. I mean, he looked like the cruise director for the Titanic. He was catching it coming and going from all sides, and he was getting redder and redder and redder and angrier, you know, all the time. They blame him for the economy. They blame him for the weather. They blame him for the computer breakdowns. They blame him for everything. And when I got to him, you know, I said, "Well, how you doing?" He said, "Compared to who?" I said, compared to that person who doesn't have a job of any kind, compared to one who doesn't have a nice building to work in with nice clothes to wear and a future he can plan, compared to those people who live in lands where there's no freedom of speech or travel or those things or freedom of worship. I said, "How you doing?" Now, you're talking about a guy who had a huge change. He grinned so wide he could have eaten a banana sideways. I mean, it was just automatic. His man, "I'm doing wonderfully well, and thank you for reminding me." Well, the guy got so excited he moved us up to first class, which I thought was pretty good. Now, the point I want to make is, had his supervisor come by while he was having all those difficulties, his job might well have been in jeopardy. Had the supervisor come by 10 seconds after we got past him, and I noticed as we were walking down the gateway to the entrance to the plane that he was greeting people in a very pleasant manner. It had changed in that long. Now, so what we need to do is we need to clearly understand the difference between responding to something and reacting to something. React is negative, respond is positive. You get sick, go to the doctor. Doctor gives you a prescription, says, "See me tomorrow." You walk in the next day, the doctor shakes his head and says, "Oh, your body's reacting to the medicine." But if you get nervous, but if the doctor says, "Hey, it's working," your body's responding. So we need to understand, and one of my favorite little examples is if you're headed for work, minding your own business, and all of a sudden out of nowhere comes a car that cuts you off at the pass. You have to hit your brakes and you hit your horn and shake your fist, you know, and in so many words say, "I got your tag number, buddy, and when I see you out here again, it's going to be me and you." And then when you get to work, what do? You tell the first person you see about these crazy drivers. Guy must have been drunk or something, you know, and you tell the second person and the third person. And in the meantime, the fellow who had committed the dastardly deed rides merrily along, unaware that you even exist. And yet he's completely in control of your performance, your attitude, maybe even your career. It's the ultimate of all the put-downs. So when something like that happens, just say, "Well, brother, if you're in that big a hurry, go ahead. I'm not going to risk my life to try to take over with you. And I'm certainly not going to get in a violent argument with you because some people carry guns. That's not smart." You respond, and over a period of time, you can build up an attitude reserve. Dr. Forrest Tennant is my source of this. He was the #1 drug authority in the country for years. He was the consultant for Texaco, consultant for the Justice Department, consultant for the National Football League. And he says that you can actually